How do we execute the perfect showing, right? Showing a home to a buyer as an agent is an art form once you really learn how to do it the right way. Now, there's a lot of things that people do right, and there's also a lot of things that people do wrong. So let's get right into it, and let me give you a really basic system to kind of help you with the showing so you conduct it properly, kind of before, during, and after. All right. So before, make sure that you get there early. Make sure that obviously you open up the home. That way, if there's any issues, the key is missing from the lockbox, or you have any kind of problem, you can contact the listing agent or your buyers in the case that you have to cancel or something can't be done, right? It's worse if you show up and then you kind of go through the motions of doing all that stuff and then you find out while they're with you. It's much, much worse. So do that, right? Get there a little bit early, assuming everything is normal. You want to open up the home. You want to turn on all the lights. You want to make sure that everything is good. If you're a little bit more advanced, what I'd recommend is, and I always carried stuff with me, little air fresheners and things of that nature, because I know that some of the houses sit, empty. Sometimes they don't turn on the AC and it could get a little stuffy in there and musty. Take a little air freshener, one or two, pop it in there. I carried some of those in my car and I would only use them for the showings. Obviously, if the home has a foul smell or something like that, that's not going to fix it, but it just improves the experience a little bit more, right? Having all the windows open, the lights on, just so people get an experience. If you're in the hot weather, make sure the AC is on. If you're in the really cold weather, you're obviously not going to open up the windows. So basically, we're just preparing the home to have it ready for when the buyer comes in, so that first impression is good for them and they can take in the house in its cleanest and best format, all right? Number two, your buyers show up. Meet them outside. And this is what you're going to do, okay? You're going to let them know, hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for meeting me here. Hey, this is 155 Elm Street. Look, there's a couple things I want you to do because as we look at showings, I'm going to have you guys compare the home. So number one, I want you to give the house a rating from 1 to 10 on its initial curb appeal and your first impression on it, okay? Then number two, after you get done looking at the home, I'm going to have you give it an overall rating, again, from 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being horrible, right? Now, I know in my mind, if people aren't giving a home a 7 or more, they're not going to buy it, right? They're not that interested, okay? But this is what you guys want to do. I also encourage them, hey, take videos, take picture, please take your time. The reason I do this is you're typically looking at multiple properties most of the time with buyers, and it gets very easy. Again, I always recommend you limit it to 3, no more than 3, like in one session, because then it gets scrambled in their brain and it's harder for them to decide. But when I do this comparison system and I ask them to take photos and videos, at the end of the second showing, right, I'm going to ask them, hey, which one was better? And they'll tell you, oh, we like the first one better. Okay, cool. Then our winner right now is the first one, right? That way, going into the third showing, they're not comparing all 3. They're only comparing the first one and the third one, right? So later on, when you go to make a decision and submit an offer, it becomes easier for them to sort through their mind, especially if you're encouraging them to take photos and videos, right? The last thing you want is an indecisive buyer. This facilitates the process for them, okay? So I do that. I kind of gave you the long term, right? But I do that. I tell them to do those things and I say, hey, take videos. Again, initial impression, and then we'll do a rating once you're done. So you have 2 ratings that you're going to get from them per house. After I tell them that, I say, great, this is what we're going to do. Go ahead and take a look at the home, soak it in, take pictures, talk amongst yourselves. Before we leave, I have a few questions to ask you. Boom, all right? I'm not going to hover. I'm not going to, oh, this is the living room. Don't do that. Let them do their thing. Why? Buyers want the privacy. And then if they're going to talk, they want to talk amongst themselves without having you there. If they want you, you can stay close, stay in a different room, right? Be out of, range, and they'll come out and they'll get you and they'll ask you a question, right? Ideally, if you guys have little cover sheets, hot sheets about a property, you can give them one. If not, right when you meet them outside, maybe you can highlight the 3 or 4 things that are particular about this property before you let them go. I do the same thing during an open house. And those of you who have watched my open house event video, I always let them go. And then at the end, I say, I have some questions for you. And at the end of the showing, right, especially the first showing, is when you ask them, hey, so what did you rate the home in your initial impression? What did you rate the home overall after you took a look at it? And they'll give you the numbers. Oh, 7, 8, great. You can write it down. I would also ask them to take note of it and write it down as well, or jot it in their phone in their notes just so they have an idea, okay? Then I kind of walk them through, great, how was the experience with the house? Did you like this one? Could you see yourself potentially living here? What would you like if there was any changes? What would you like? What did you like about the home? What did you not like about the home? Just some basic questions, right? It won't take me more than 2 or 3 minutes. But again, as you gain and gather more experience, you'll know when somebody really likes a house. Because sometimes if I know that their buying temperature is hot and they love it, I'll be like, great. Well, if we look at the other two and they don't beat this one, then we're for sure going to submit an offer on this one, right? And if they say yes to that, they've already committed to submitting an offer. But I'm kind of setting the tone. Assuming that you did a good buyer's consultation, they know the whole process, they've seen a contract before. Again, they're out, they're qualified, they're ready to buy. Most people that I've worked with in 1 or 2 sessions of showing homes, they buy a house. Most of them throughout my whole career. Very rarely did I have to take people out multiple times for them to look at 10 or 15 properties, right? Because that's somebody who's not serious. I weeded out most of those people in the pre-qualification and the consultation phase because they don't want to do that stuff, right? So you ask those couple questions, good. Then you meet them at the next property and you rinse and repeat. Now at the very end, you say, okay, so we're at the third property. I know you mentioned that the first one was you liked, the one that you liked the most, and this third one, now that you've seen it, which one? Oh no, the third one for sure is the winner. Great. So our next step would be to discuss potentially submitting an offer on this home. Cool. And then you get into the logistics of submitting an offer with them, right? You walk them through, great, this is what we're going to do, right? Now, if you don't know, which I recommend you do, if you don't know your numbers and they're going to be asking you, hey, what should we submit at and all that? If you don't know your numbers, I'd recommend that you bring your laptop with you so you can look it up to pull up some quick comps while they're kind of talking and deliberating. If not, if you already know the numbers, then you can get right into it and have your recommendation. Every single one of you, agents, need to have blank contracts in your car, or if you're totally a digital nomad now and a digital guy, then have it on your iPad, your laptop, have your contracts ready. That way, if they're ready, you can do it on the spot, or at the very least, you prepare it and then you docu-sign it to them and get them to sign it on the spot, if not at night, right? You really want to set the tone, because if people are super hesitant and you've looked at a good property that you know is probably going to get snatched up, you want to make sure that they submit the offer. And again, I already set this up during the pre-qualification process and the consultation process. They already know we're going to look at 3 properties. We're going to submit an offer. They've already heard this. If you guys are running into a lot of issues when you're showing homes, it's because you missed a lot of steps prior. And that's a problem. You have to have a good qualification process, that buyer's consultation, and then your showings have to be systemized. And it's like, again, you're on a conveyor belt, right? And you do the same thing over and over, okay? It's up to you to take control and lead and help people. If not, you will let people fall into indecisiveness and they're never going to decide. They're going to sit there forever. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. I want to look at 10 more properties, and they're not going to get anywhere. The first 2 parts of the process will weed out most of the looky-loos, but that last part of comparing, having them take video, leaving them alone, I guarantee you will make it much easier for them to submit an offer, right? Worst case, get them to sign that night or at the latest the next morning so you can submit the offer. But on the spot, when you're at that last showing, have them decide. Now, if they really didn't like any of them, okay, then you go on to day 2 and you have it ready. But I'm highly recommending you guys don't do more than 3 showings, right? I know some people do 5, 10, 15. That's just too much and people get confused. Maybe you can stretch it. Again, it's a business decision. You can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you the system that we used. Primarily, most of us were listing agents, but the buyers that we work with were easy. We got them through this process. We got tons of good reviews, and we never got any complaints following this process. It's all up to you to be the leader and to let them know what's going to happen and then conduct yourselves accordingly. I know I gave you the Cliff Notes version. If you guys want to check out the description, I have a ton of free things that you can grab that will help you with this type of stuff. If you want to schedule a one-on-one call with me to talk about coaching and training, you can do that. That link is below as well. If you want to talk to me about potentially joining my team, my nationwide real estate team, or Real Brokerage, I have another link down there. Take your time to browse through that. I'm always doing webinars and all that kind of stuff too. Check out that open house event video that I did, very informative. But this is a basic, simple Cliff Notes rundown of how I run a showing. Super, super simple. It gets you out of their way, and it is efficient, and it gets offers submitted and signed, which is what you want. Now, obviously the skill set, how to ask the questions, again, presenting that for them to sign is going to require you developing a skill set, right? Which is why I offer coaching and training and a bunch of other stuff. But anyhow, now you have the structure. If you want to go implement it, and you'll see that your showings and your work with buyers will be much simpler. And if I'm going to throw a last tip on here for those of you who are still here Make sure that you communicate with them when your showing times are. Hey, Mr. Buyer, I'm available to do showings between 12 and 4, so we'll be scheduling them for that time every single day. The worst thing you can do is to morph your schedule around every buyer that you work with. Because then once you start working with 2 or 3 buyers, you're not going to prospect and you're not going to build your business, and you're going to be stuck showing homes all day instead of being as productive as you can be. And that's a mistake that will keep you stuck, keep you in chase mode, and keep you broke. Always aim to be a listing agent. However, have a strong buyer process when you are working with buyers and when you eventually build your team and your organization. Okay, that's it for this one, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Any other questions? Let me know. Peace.